We are back and honored to have a television legend joining us. Ted Danson most recently spent 4 years playing Michael, a demon turned friend to humans on the TV show The Good Place.
But from Sam Malone to Becker, he's been in your home on TV for years. And what you may not know is that he has a Pittsburgh connection. He's a graduate of Carnegie Mellon, and we are so pleased to have you with us today.
Me too. Me too. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
You I've seen a lot over the years.
Well, yes, we have seen each other before. Yeah. And tell us why you're in town right now, and it has to do with a project your wife is doing, right?
Yeah, Mary's filming here for a month, The Happiest Season. Mm-hmm. A lot of amazing people in it, and I tagged along, so it's great. I think you did an interview, or somebody did an interview of all the ladies there, right?
We did, and we're going to air that coming up. And yeah, she told us things about you. She told us that you cooked dinner for her.
Cooking dinner sounds like I know what I'm doing. I can go into a refrigerator and make something taste good out of what's there, but if we're having guests over,
no reservations.
Yeah.
Ted, what I love though is you told me that you guys have started doing this now, where you're just tagging along with each other so that you can support each other and be there to make dinner, to be there at the end of the night.
Yeah. In the beginning, we thought, oh, it's better if we work at the same time, because then you can go have free time together and go travel to do something. But it's really turned out to be valuable to be able to catch each other and run lines, and one person can be exhausted and the other one can be, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, that's
I love
cool.
that.
All right, so one of the things that you have done while you've been in Pittsburgh is you went back to CMU. I know you met with some of the acting students. What was that like? What's it like to go back?
You know, like all things in my life, it was selfish on my part. It was for me. I went back for me. I needed a hit of, you know, and I told them this, if I hadn't had this opportunity, I probably would have sat in on a bunch of acting classes somewhere to get my head on straight after finishing a project and about to start another one. I find it better to get back in touch with your actorness and not your celebrityness, you know. So for me, it was really fun to go back and talk to 40, 50 of these amazing young artists. But artists, that was, here's to evolution, because they're so much more evolved than I was back then. They really, usually you talk to groups of people starting out and it's, how can you get me? They don't say it, but they're thinking, how can you get me a job? Well, they're thinking other things too, like, oh, I hope I have a career like him. Or, oh, please, God, don't let my career be like his, you know, depending on their point of view. But usually they're thinking kind of from, how do I succeed? And this was like talking to my peers. This was like talking to fellow artists. It was, it was really wonderful for me. It was so energizing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it seems like the program at CMU has really grown. You were just talking about that a few minutes ago, just to see the evolution of the programs there, from even the musical theater program, all of it.
Especially that. I mean, it's always been a powerhouse in producing actors, but now they're like half of them, I think, are musical comedy or musical, you know, trained for musicals. Then they go straight to Broadway, most of them. It's a very good program. I'm stuttering because I don't sing ever.
Yeah.
I don't sing in the shower. I don't sing, you know, I don't.
We like to sing a lot here. We're not good at it.
We can't sing either. You could sing with us anytime, Ted. You would fit right in.
Here's my experience of singing at Carnegie. Two things. We had to get up at once and sing, and all my friends afterwards, and I think I sang something from My Fair Lady or something, they all came out and went, oh, Ted, we love you.
I do that to David all the time.
She does. It's like you've seen our show.
Sweet.
That's exactly the move she does with me.
So brave.
That's sweet.
And the other one was, I was cast in two things at the same time. One was Godspell, which came out of Carnegie. And it was, everybody thought it was going to be a mess right up in my defense, right up until it opened. And then it was just like, oh my God. And it went on to New York and made a film and all of that. But the first week I was just going, oh, what a turkey. God, how am I going to, I hate singing and I'm in this and it's a terrible, and I got Bell's palsy. You know what Bell's palsy is? It's like you draw a line here, and because a nerve is pinched here in your face on this side. doesn't move.
Yeah.
You can't blink, you can't do
Wow.
anything. So, and it's not dangerous, but it can be debilitating.
Yeah.
But my response was, oh, thank God, I'm out of this turkey. So
The only time someone
that's how
was
much I hate to
thankful
sing.
Okay, all right.
to get Bell's palsy. I want to ask you about The Good Place. I fell in love with this show, as I know a lot of people did. It's so unique. I was sad to see that it was over. 4 seasons of it. What was that experience like for you?
I'm really, really grateful, proud to have been part of it. It was a conversation that was a lovely conversation to have on television and on, you know, NBC network television, to be able to talk about, you know, that there are consequences to our actions. You know, that you either put out a certain amount of good or a certain amount of bad into the universe, and it's, you know, there's an accounting for it, you know, and I like that. It's about how to lead a decent life.
Yeah.
But the end result, I think the end message was kind of just try to do better.
Just trying
Every
to-
day, just try to be a little bit better. And that's and you surrounded it with 9-year-old fart humor
Right.
and great visuals, you know. So it was palatable. It
Right.
wasn't just a lecture. It was very funny. But I love in airports, 12-year-olds come up to me all the time and say how much they enjoy it. And
Yeah.
their parents kind of tag along and loved it as well. So.
And what's interesting about the show is that it has to be very artful to be funny and at the same time have a message.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this was on point.
That's Mike Shore, who was our creator. He assembled an amazing room of writers, and he's just very, very bright, decent in the best sense of the word man that I've ever met.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about playing Sam Malone, because I heard something recently that I didn't know, and that was that maybe you weren't uncomfortable, but it was sort of a stretch for you. Like, you took bartending lessons.
Yeah.
And it was really, he's a different character than who Ted Danson is.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Malone was, you know, Lothario. He was, you know, ran a bar, and he was a relief pitcher for the Red Sox. And all of those things are kind of very touch on the arrogant side of male. And that was not me. I barely, you know, if somebody kissed me, we were married, basically, is how it worked. I got married here at Carnegie when I was 22.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and so that side of, you know, was not me, and I didn't go to bars. So yeah, I took bartending. I could make great drinks for the first month until I realized they don't care about drinks, they care about the jokes.
Yeah.
And they were shooting us above my hands, making these fabulous.
So you could have been doing anything, making
Yeah,
clay
so I did.
figures.
I started just washing shot glasses and cutting lemons, and that was my bartending.
So if we watch the beginning of Cheers, we're going to see some fabulous
Some
drinks.
wonderful drinks.
And then later
Not
on.
so good jokes.
Okay. You know, out of the characters that you've played, like, who is most like Ted Danson, you think?
That's a deep
You know,
question.
It's like a Barbara Walters question,
I mean,
isn't
because all you have is to draw yourself to draw on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I was in my 30s, mid-30s, playing an idiot behind a bar, surrounded by beautiful people, it was kind of perfect. And there were parts of me, definitely, that were Sam. I got a little grumpier and older, and my bones hurt, so Becker was definitely, you know, part of my wheelhouse. I like to make a joke. Everything I've done is Sam, you know. Sam Malone becomes a doctor, Sam Malone is a demon in the, you know.
Right.
But all you do is draw on yourself. It's the words, you know. It's if you throw yourself into the situation, and if the words are really good, if the writing and the story are powerful, all you have to do is tag along and not mess it up, and you become this other, you're beheld in a different way. So,
I've
yeah.
never acted before, but I have to think, I don't know how the separation works, but I have to feel like if you're immersing yourself so much into a project that how do you find the difference between who you are and who that character is? Do you kind of morph into who that is at the time?
But it's really writing. When people see me, most of them will think, oh, there's sweet, nice Ted, made us laugh on Cheers. But if I, right this very second, took my cup of lukewarm tea and poured it down you you would be, I would be forever different.
That's true.
For everyone watching, for you especially, I would be, whoa, weird, dangerous, bizarre Ted. But I'm still doing the same silhouette. I just happen to do this to you. So in the writing, if they have you do something massively different than the expectation of the audience, all of a sudden you're somebody different.
Right.
So the credit I think actors can take is not getting in the way of the words.
Yeah.
When you're really good, you let the words lead you down this path and just enjoy the ride.
That's why we thank Jill every day, our producer.
Yes.
Who writes the words for us.
Words for us, yeah. We want to ask you about your next project because this is so exciting.
Yeah.
Tina Fey producing. And
Tina
then,
and Robert,
Okay.
Harlock, her writing partner, are doing it together. But yeah, Tina Fey producing.
And Holly Hunter, another CMU
Holly
grad.
Hunter, yeah. We haven't talked about that yet.
Yeah,
We
let's talk
haven't
about it.
No, I mean, yeah, let's do, but we haven't, Holly and I haven't talked about it.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see. Okay.
I don't know why, but we haven't.
So tell us.
Maybe she's ashamed, whereas I come back all the time. I don't know.
We're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to find Holly Hunter. But you play
The mayor of Los
Okay.
Angeles. We're not going to solve problems, but she's so bright and quick that I imagine we'll be taking pot shots at things that need to have a little attention pointed at them. But I don't think we're going to be solving the homeless problem or infrastructure like that. But then again, who is?
Right.
I admire Tina Fey so much.
Me too.
I loved her book. I loved watching her on 30 Rock.
Yep.
She just seems to kind of have it all.
Yes, and I want to crawl in that brain.
Yes.
And see what happens. It's always scary, but
Well, you kind of will be,
I
guess,
will
in
be.
a way.
Yeah, no, it'll be her words coming. Psh.
It'll be fun to watch. Before we let you go, we want to ask you about, you told us a story once about I think it was your summer job when you were at Carnegie Mellon, filling shaving cream cans, and it didn't go so well, right?
No.
Not to bring up a bad moment.
I can't claim that my roots are deep Rust Belt.
Okay.
You know, I wish I used to tell this story to say, hey, I worked around the steel mills. But here's the sad truth. It was my uncle's Continental Can factory.
Okay.
And it was surrounded by steel mills. And he was the, I don't know what, co-chairman of the board of this huge company. So I asked him, I wanted to stay here at Carnegie my freshman summer and make money. And so I worked the night shift because it was more money. And I was surrounded by people who had worked there before World War II.
Wow.
Gone off and fought, and come back to the same job, afterwards. I was so a fish out of water, but it was an amazing experience. And yes, the first night, and it's kind of a joke to everyone who works there, the first night you have this wooden fork with 8 prongs on them, and the foamy shaving cans come down, but there's no foamy in it, it's just open. But you stick your fork in and do this, and put them in a box and layer the box, and you put...
You were on the line.
You show up the next day going, you go to the infirmary immediately because you cannot move your arm because the repetitive action of doing this for 8 hours will cripple anyone, and everyone kind of finds it highly amusing. But much respect for those people who do that, every day. I lasted a month and a half.
I was going to ask. All right, you lasted a month and a half.
Out.
Thank goodness you had this acting thing to
no
fall
kidding.
back on.
No. Oh, thank you, Lord, for that category, or else, I don't know. I probably would have been a butler, and a good one. Because I am now kind of a butler.
We keep learning things about Ted Danson.
To marry.
To people I love.
Right.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you so much. This has been a real pleasure to talk with you.
You too. Thank you. And anytime I'm back, I'd love to do it again.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ted.
Yeah, we didn't quite sing enough praises of Carnegie Mellon, but it's an amazing school.
It is.
Yeah.
What he says is true.